Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon on season 3 on episode 2? Or, yeah, Danmachi season 3 or Danger ni Dewa wa Motomoru no wa Machiketeru Daru ka 3. Sorry. Anyways, this episode right here looks like to me things are not looking so great right now. So if anything else, let's just get this started. Let me get this one scene out of the way since I think that one started first. We have to it that there's a group of people who's trying to capture these monsters, and apparently Ween or Liveria, whatever that thing is pretty much the target because they could get a big amount of sum of money out of it. And this guy Dix whatsoever, sorry if it sounds like the other word, like his name is Dix, like Dix. His name is Dix. Really? You don't believe me? Go watch the episode yourself or look it up. We have to it that he apparently is running the business where he's asking Ikelos, which apparently is a god, to help him out to go find to go find this creature, you know? Anything besides that, he tells him as long as you're entertained, I could keep you not getting bored, you know? Etc. Eventually we have to it that Belle, along with some other friend, along with Wealth and Lily, decides to go and do some exploring in the dungeon in order to find out what's up, you know. They decide to have some escorts along with them, you know, such as Aisha, and then eventually after Ryu sees Aisha going after Belle in a certain way, she decides, you know what, I'll go with you, you know. I'm not gonna leave this I'm not gonna leave this guy or this Amazoness or something for Belle, otherwise he'll just get munched on, you know, that kind of thing. But that aside, we have to it that Belle seems like is not himself to fight monsters, you know, which leaves himself kind of vulnerable a bit, which I can understand why. But that aside, we have to it that Lily decides to preoccupy Aisha, the Amazon woman, and Ryu about the situation, but she decides not to tell him anything. But as for Belle and Wealth, they end up meeting another monster, which apparently speaks of human language and says, hey, can we coexist? You smell something of my own kindred. But you don't seem to be grabbing them, etc. by blood. Eventually, she ends up leaving behind a feather, which apparently is a strange sign whatsoever. Whatever the case may be, we have to it that Belle and Wealth decides to leave the floor, but not before they run into a group that is hunting the monsters, you know. And the guy says, "Hey, I remember seeing that guy right there," you know. That aside, we have to it that he says, "How about we investigate this guy and his familia a little bit, huh?" And eventually, we have to it that they end up having to return to the surface world, etc. And we have to it that that Belle wants some time alone due to the fact that maybe he has a lot of things in his mind right now of what to do. And he ends up meeting Ikelos, the god Ikelos, but before Ikelos could actually interrogate him and find out whether he's lying or not, we have to that Hermes ends up deciding to talk to him for a bit, you know. He says, hey Belle, why don't you go off course for a bit? I'll talk to this guy myself. Eventually they end up having to talk with each other, Hermes and Ikelos, and Ikelos says, you know, I don't care what they do, you know. Even if you kill me right now, those guys, they're gonna freaking they're just gonna find another god and make a contract with and continue doing the same old planning stuff, you know, filthy stuff. So he pretty much tells Hermes he doesn't care as long as he gets entertained, you know. But he does tell Hermes to watch out for them, etc. As he's not a bad god, but he's not on anyone's side either. I guess you could say he's a chaotic, neutral kind of guy who wants to be entertained, I guess. But that aside, we have to it that we get to see a scene with Haruhime and Ween decides to play hide and seek. But not before we hear that Lilith and everyone else talk about the situation and what they found, you know. And we have to that Lily says out loud, and I can understand where she's coming from. The way she worded it is actually very rough, you know, and very too much, I guess. Though I can understand where she's coming from. I really do. I mean, they can't keep a monster around, hanging around with them forever. Otherwise, it will just cause more mischief or trouble. Eventually, you know, Ween will later on hear all this and ends up having to cry and be in distress and runs off, you know. Sad thing is, she exposed herself by accident by saving a child from a box of food or a box of supplies. But unfortunately, she sprouted a wing that exposed herself as a monster. Eventually, Belle, Wealth, and everyone else managed to save her, well, with the help of Lily, who apparently disguised herself as an elf, you know? So that pretty much alone is pretty much a little dangerous for them now. And Ween asked, like, Belle, is it really bad for me to stay with you guys? Although Belle cannot give an answer, that result is all around his face, you know, the way I look at it. And Ween can only cry in despair knowing that this may not be going so well for her at all, you know. And I can understand where she's coming from, and especially Lily. But now we get to see Uranus' subordinate says, you know, there is a ray of hope knowing that this could work out. But it seems way too distant right now. I mean, way, way too distant, you know. And preview of next episode is called Xenos, I believe. I think it's called Xenos. I don't know. One thing for sure is like, we're just really getting close to another drama to a point where things are not really looking so well, you know. That much I can say. Pretty much next episode, like I said, is called Xenos, like Xenos whatsoever. Yeah. So with what's going on right now, especially what happened in this episode, yeah, I can understand where Lily's coming from, that we can't house this monster for too long. And even if we did, things would just look bad, and our standing as a familia would, like, shatter, etc. Even so, even though the recognition and reputation was never good to begin with, it can only worsen it, which I can understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, though, I think that was a little too rough of what she said about, like, Ween, you know? Although I can understand where she's coming from, but with what's going on and what just happened right now, especially that Ween exposed herself even though she wanted to help, which I don't blame her for, and now she's being dissed and says, hey, get the heck out of here kind of thing by people, etc. Man, it's just not looking so well. They have to find a way to, like, no choice. I mean, like, the way I look at it, if I can understand Belle has a very good heart, man. I mean, the guy's good. I mean, there's no denying that. Too bad his ignorance and innocence is really, like, too pure of that fact, knowing that he can't just become like that kind of person. Although, like, we'll have to see. All I know is, like, Dix and his group of mercenaries are trying to, like, find Ween because she's the target of being a big sum of money, you know. And things are it's just gonna look bad for now. But I don't know. No, it is gonna be bad, and I don't know how it's gonna go out for Belle and his crew. But there's no way for them to escape this time. They have to figure something out, or they're all doomed. That much I can say. Anyways, I'm starting to like the season a little bit more compared to, like, the previous season. All I know is the previous season just had some drama with some gods, and then there's some nasty fan service in the second half. I'm starting to like this season a bit more about the drama between humans and monsters. Now the question of this entire season now is like this, you know, can monsters coexist with those on the surface world? It's really difficult. I mean, like, we all know that adventurers and monsters have been killing each other ever since, and it's really hard to really, like, coexist, etc. Knowing that even if there's a slim chance of it, how's it going to work out for everyone else in society, you know? It's going to take a lot of work. Who knows? But we'll have to see. I mean, like, yeah, like I said, and repeating myself, I'm starting to like this season a lot more compared to the last season. I mean, like, etc. But yeah, okay. That's it. That's about it, people. I'll see you guys in the next video or so. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Ta-da!